put your hands together and show a whole lot of love for Mr. Clay Miller.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I just want to tell you, I have this music stand. And this music stand, actually, I bought at a gay garage sale from Outright when they clearance. And this music stand has been used by one other person besides me, and Lisa Lampanelli. So, and look how much weight she's lost. I'm just saying. And and I was, it's a magic music stand. So anyway, I just want to tell a real quick story before I get started. A little while ago, I took a seminar from Esther Hicks. She channels this non-physical entity called Abraham. Anyone heard of this? Okay. The seminar is like heavily attended, 250 people max. But the name of it is called Getting into the Vortex. It must have worked. My name is Clay Miller. I come to you all the way from Piedmont and North Avenue. And it took me 58 years to get here. So anyway, I'm just kind of curious. Why is everybody staring at me? He's staring at you. Right through his butthole. I'm just saying. I want to really, before I get real verbose, I want to thank everybody that's been before me, including Big Kenny, who's like the most awesome coach. Seriously, if y'all want to do crazy shit and learn more about yourself, hire Big Kenny to be your coach and come here every Monday for a long time. And then you'll end up in a class with Chris Farley's cousin. That was who was just there before us, right there. Chris Farley's cousin, Dr. Catherine Farley. And so you're all invited to our after party in the penthouse of the Lowe's Hotel. And this is serious, I'm not cutting up. So just come over there and say, we're going to the Farley penthouse, and come on up. There's lots of food and drinks, and be right up to the show. And I'm sure that Marshall's going to love that announcement, because it takes a whole audience out of here for the next performer. My bad. So anyway, this is Midtown, right? And I'm curious, are there any straight people in the audience?
No.
Wait, when did you come out? I'm just curious. I was just curious, did your gaydar go off when I walked out? All right, so I hope I get through this. I have CRS. Y'all know what that is, right? Can't remember stuff. That's why I got the music stand. I got this big thing of ginkgo biloba, but I keep forgetting to take it. So, I gotta tell you, I was born Catholic, but I gave it up for Lent. And in real life, to keep from sleeping under a bridge, I shove plastic in old people's ears. I'm a hearing specialist. All together now. But I'm working on a new invention. It's a selective hearing aid. The battery goes dead after a certain amount of bitching. So this is an interesting group of us that have collected here. Nye, as he told you, lost 140 pounds. But in reality, I just recently lost 65 pounds, for real. And I did, thank you, I appreciate that. And then I was talking with the other people. Big Kenny lost a bunch of weight, and so did Catherine. And the next guy that's gonna come out, no, it's actually, did you catch this drift, how this is working tonight? It's kind of boy, girl, boy, girl. So it's gonna be another girl after me. And then there'll be a boy. And so that guy just told me he lost 75 pounds, and then I did my math. I got out my phone and added it all up. And like I do, and we've lost a collective 351 pounds in our whole group. I ate, well, what I did was I gave up bread, cheese, deep fried food, white rice, and sugar. And ate so many salads, the National Weather Service issued a wind advisory. I gotta quit looking at that light because I can't see shit. So anyway, I also started to exercise. It's kind of the old thing that you diet and exercise. So I just changed the way I eat and exercise. And I'm a cyclist. So every morning I get out of bed and other people put on their slippers, but I put on my cycling shoes and I get on my bike and ride right there in my living room with my music stand, with my laptop and my cell phone and my weights and this ball over here that's 10 pounds. And well, that's a trick to get that up while I'm on the bike, but it happens. And so lately, though, my balls of my feet have been killing me. And I don't know what that's all about, but anyway. I've got this friend I met who's driving me knuckin' futz. I'm serious. I met him online, and he is a complete teabag, partier. He is convinced that Chris Christie, you know, the governor of, that guy, who's retaining a little water, Lake Huron, is going to run for president in 2016. And so he's been all on the interweb trying to make sure that he's really born in the United States, you know, and he found his birth certificate. And he's trying to tell me that, did you know Chris Christie was born on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of June? He told me that Chris Christie was so tired after Hurricane Sandy that he laid in a hammock and uprooted 2 trees. He said that Chris Christie thinks cardio is round trips to the refrigerator. So, goodness, now we get to the part of the show that really gets crazy. So, I was a waiter before I became a hearing specialist. And I worked in this really fancy place I will not mention, but you'll find out later. And so, this big shot comes in, and he brings all his friends, and they're sitting at the table, and he orders everybody the top shelf steak. Everybody had to have steak, even if they were vegetarian. He made them eat steak. So I serve everybody, and then I go take care of my other tables, and he screams at me, "Waiter, this steak is bad." And so I said, "Okay, what can I do about it? What's wrong with it?" And he said, he started talking to his friends again and ignored me. So I kind of went away and started waiting on my other friends and tables, they're not friends. I know my mind wanders so much. It drives me crazy. And at the worst times, too, because there was this one time that my mind just, all I could think was, lie to me, Pinocchio, lie to me. So anyway, back to the table. He screams at me again, and I said, he goes, "Waiter, this steak is bad." And I said, "What's wrong with it?" And then he ignored me again and started talking to his friends. So I went about to help the other guests at their tables because you don't have just one table. So anyway, a little while later, he screamed at me again, "Waiter, this steak is bad." So I went over and I grabbed the steak and I picked it up and I went, "Bad steak!" and put it back on his plate. And I said, "You leave that guest alone now." Have you ever slept with a bed hog? I know, right? One time, I was sleeping. I woke up and I was right next to the edge of the bed, and I realized I was about to fall off. So I went over and went, "Honey, I'm about to fall off over here." And I said, "I've only got about 4 inches." And he goes, without missing a beat, "Well, stick it in." And I laughed for about 2 weeks before I got back to sleep. been to the bodies exhibit? I know, right? All these bodies out there. So a bunch of us went when it first opened up, and everybody's very, very stoic. Nobody says anything. And so we went to this group, and we got in a room where all the nerves were laid out on this table. And so we were looking at that, and I had this friend, and he was really into it, and I got bored, so I walked away. And just about 10 seconds later, I hear from across the room, Clay, when you tell me I worked your last gay nerve, which one is it? So anyway, people were asking me before I did this, they said, Clay, aren't you going to be kind of nervous when you do that? And I said, well, let me tell you. I worked at the Ritz back in the 80s. I was on the opening team for the opening day till about 1993. And back in that day, there was only game in town. And Tom Cruise was there for Legends. He was on his Legends tour. Remember when he had the long hair and everything? So anyway, this buddy of mine, and I can tell this because he's dead now, was the massage therapist called in to massage Tom Cruise. And so he told me all about it. And so whenever I get nervous, I just remember one thing. Mine's bigger. So anyway, thank you all. You've been wonderful. And my name is Clay Miller. Thank you. One little thing of advice before I go, okay? I gotta tell you, always have safe sex. Hang up before they come.